Bar TV Sports would like to thank Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au. And Cornelia's Crump, the Bar TV Sports beverage of choice. And Rams Loans for supporting the 2016 NHRU Premiership.
Well, here we are, everybody, for Bar TV's coverage of the Rams semi-final series for the greater Newcastle region. Newcastle and Hunters' finest semi-final series on tap. It was a big game yesterday. Of course, the big news out of that was Dan Kevill getting sent off for the knee, and Southern Beaches played wonderfully to come away with a win yesterday in a very tough physical match. The score blew out in the end, but in any case, Beaches won and are through to play the Hawks next week. It's a big day. It's a nice day. It's a better day here at number 2 Sports Ground. And with me up here in the commentary box, he was with us last week for the Wanderers Merewether Carlton game. Merewether Carlton, one of their finest, Dennis Shaw. How are you, Dennis?
Yeah, good, mate. Happy to be here.
On Father's Day as well. Special shout out to all the fathers out there. It's a big day for them, and there's plenty of people here again today.
Yeah, it should be a cracker. As you said, not as a better day than yesterday. They haven't got that wicked wind that we had yesterday. Really looking forward to this game. You know, Merewether Carlton coming off a pretty disappointing last week, a loss last week, and of course Waratah with that massive win that got them into the semi-finals.
Yeah, everyone talking about that win through the week. Waratahs sacrificing, I guess, their lower grades and playing with 23 players, 8 fresh reserves in that first grade fiction. Obviously playing for Sheep Stations up at Maitland last week, and they're through to the semi-finals, I guess, at the expense of the Maitland club, who we see now on the screen in the second grade fixture. Now, it's going to be a big game. These two teams have squared off in the semi-finals over the last 3 years, and they've been amazing games. They've gone down to the wire, and I'm expecting that again today, Dennis.
Yeah, it should be a cracker. Look, there's probably a bit of spite in this one too. I read in the paper where Waratah said they wanted Merewether, and that's who they got. So I'm not exactly sure.
Was that spite or affection?
Yeah, I'm imagining there's not much affection going between these two teams. But yeah, that was an interesting comment, and I'm not quite sure who it was directed at. Obviously, the Merewether Carlton club, but certainly adds to the theatre of this game, no doubt. Yeah,
definitely, and plenty of spite between the two clubs from the big. I guess it stems from the big coup of 2004, where a few players there, myself included, left the club in unceremonious circumstances and came over to Merewether Carlton as well. In any case, it's not about that. It's about the game today. There's a couple of changes. Merewether Carlton with the big names. The big one for me is James Appy out and James Sneddon coming on as a starter. I mean, James Sneddon last week, he held his own when he came on, but they will miss the big body of Appy.
Oh, yeah, certainly. Early in that game last week against Wanderers, he was very influential. He got a couple of turnovers. He was getting across the game line. He's very mobile for a big guy, and as soon as he went off last week, there was a difference in the Merewether Carlton team. They didn't quite reach the advantage line as easily as they were, and to have him not starting at all and obviously taking no part in this game, that's going to be a massive loss for Merewether Carlton.
Well, they have put another big body in the side in Jerome Wilson, of course, the former Central Charlestown player, came over mid-season. Wendell Wilhelm is his brother, and I guess having him in the side, it's that extra ball runner at the expense of Sam Dart, who goes back to the bench.
Yeah, I think that's a fair enough call too. I think Merewether desperately need to add some size. I think Wendell was probably one of their best last week. He was getting across the advantage line. Now, bringing Jerome in, I get the idea of it. You know, you've got to have a little bit of size against this massive Waratah pack.
Well, unfortunately for the Greens as well, while we still talk about their side, Burns, who's been their best forward over the last couple of weeks, suffered a workplace injury during the week, doing his back in, and now he's out, and they will miss his aggression here today against a fired-up Waratahs pack.
Yeah, that's a massive loss. Yeah, we spoke about him constantly last week. He was another one of the Greens' better players in a well-beaten team, and he's come along in leaps and bounds. You know, we're not quite sure where he come from. In mid-season he popped up, but he's been great for Merewether, and missing him this weekend or this game, that's a massive loss.
and a couple of, I guess, positional changes as well for the Carlton side. Blake Crichton, who had an up-and-down week last week, he's been shifted to the wing. Sam Fogarty outside centre, and Jay Strawn back to fullback. They obviously want the ball in the hands of Jay Strawn as much as possible here today.
Yeah, I think the idea of moving into fullback is you're not restricting, what side of the field he can really attack from. He can pop in, choose his moments, come in when he feels like it. And I think probably the change of the alignment in the back line might improve their defence a little bit. To be honest, the Merewether's defence last week was in the backs was ordinary. There's no way around it. They weren't good defensively, so maybe moving Fogarty to outside centre might stiffen that part of their game up. He's more a natural centre than he is a winger, and I think he might handle that defensive role better.
Yes, certainly will. Fraser Price, of course, the son of the great Tony Price from Western Suburbs Rugby League. He is in the centres, and his combination, I guess, with Tom Smith last week, who came to the side, obviously playing juniors together, playing rugby league together. It was one that's going to improve with the week.
Yeah, well, that was their first. So I know they've played a lot of juniors together, but it's probably their first real rugby game together, or maybe lower grades. But, anything they do, they're going to improve on. I'd like to see Tom take the ball to the line a little bit better this week. I think last week it was a lot of just transferring the ball across. That was his first game in first grade, so you've got to get confidence out of that. There's nothing to lose today. I'd like to see him and Fraser really take the line on. To hold that outside defence up just that touch. If you can do that, then you give the outside blokes a little bit more room to work with.
Well, let's turn our attention to the Waratahs side. It's a big forward pack. It's a hot day here today. I don't think the weather's going to play into anyone's hand, being semi-final part of the year. Talatafeo, a big body. Peniata, he's an elusive, free-running hooker. Very good player as well, so they'll have to shut him down because he gets them on the front foot. And, of course, Country Player of the Year, Alan Mirilakis, a very good front row, a very good bookend, and probably the prop forward in the competition over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he's been a great player, hasn't he? Look, a lot of the names change from time to time in the Waratah, but their style does not. So Mirilakis, he's been here for a few years now, and he's been a great player. Dylan Hines, back from injury. That's a big one for them. He's the guy that gets around the paddock. He's very, very busy, great in the line-out, so I think he could be a massive inclusion for them.
Yeah, and of course, missing Dane Sherritt with that back injury, so Lettingham, who has been playing fullback, he's shifted into the 10 position. He's shifted in pretty well. Watched the game against Maitland last week, and he's all class. He really directed them around the field. Good kicking game, and really combined well with the 13, Kalmanu, who is probably one of the better centres in the competition in his own right. Yeah,
no doubt. It's a big loss, obviously, the 5'8". He was his territorial kicking game was probably the best in the competition, so he's a big loss. Lettingham, I watched him play earlier in the year at fullback against Merewether at Townsend, and he was brilliant at fullback. He really cut the Greens to shreds, so I don't think the Greens will be too worried that they're not kicking to him. But, yeah, no matter where he plays, he'll add a little bit of class to that position. Probably add a running game. Not necessarily. I'm not sure how his kicking game is.
Well, we saw just then on the Bar TV screen some pre-match entertainment. A paraglider looking to steer clear of number 2. I don't know where he is. He's in the distance, so he's off target, Shorey. But I tell you who's not off target, and that is Lettingham with his kicking. He may be the difference here today, and the experience coming from, I guess, South Africa into this Waratahs side as well. Just got that skill and that cool composure. They play from birth over there, mate.
Oh, they do. Waratah are a confidence team, aren't they? If they can get on the front foot, they are very hard to stop. So Merewether are going to have to come out, defend better than they have all season, try to keep these guys from getting across the advantage line. Their line speed will be important. It hasn't been a strength of the Greens this season, so their line speed is going to be keep Waratah, try to get them not across the advantage line, and see if you can stifle some of their early front foot play.
Well, just looking behind us, the crowd is rolling in all the way from Merewether. There's not too many Waratahs supporting. There's a couple positioned over the hill, but the grandstand looks packed at the moment, and it looks packed and chockers with Green supporters. And, of course, listening in across the Bar TV network, across Australia, and indeed across the world. We give a special shout-out to everybody looking, especially, the halfback from the Waratahs, Cam Davies. His family of Wales, I know, tunes in each week. It'll be an interesting matchup with the young Eddie Clifton as well. 2 young halfbacks. Eddie Clifton offers very quick service. Cam Davies, he's kind of in that Sherwood mould where he acts as another forward, very strong and good ball runner as well.
Yeah, different players, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely. Look, your nines are important in any rugby game, aren't they? They've got to direct your forwards. They've got to get to that breakdown, and that's where Eddie Clifton strengthens. He gets everywhere. He gets around the park. I'd like to see him to take the line on a little bit, and maybe Cam Davies' strength is obviously his direction of play and directing the forwards round and his talk.
Well, both benches, they're both fresh today, so no advantages for anybody in that aspect in this Rams NHRU semi-final series. Willie So on the bench. He was the man that started all this conjecture. They lost some points for playing him without declaring that he wasn't a junior. Not too sure. But anyway, he's in the side today. And him coming on as an impact player surely is a good thing for the Waratahs side.
Oh, yeah, that's a strength, isn't it? Having a big guy like him to come on, not only his impact around the field, but obviously at scrum time too. I think that might be where the Greens have a little bit of an issue with their depth, and that's around the front row, especially with James Appy out. James Sneddon would normally come off the bench.
Yeah, certainly. And Merewether, traditionally not strengthened in the front row through the grades. Normally can field a couple of grades and then it's makeshift throughout. But we'll see how they go today. Of course, Coach Stacey Sykes, he's been called upon and he's made a couple of changes in response. As we see now, the Greens led out by their captain, Jay Strawn. And they do look like they've got a spring in their step, Dennis.
Yeah, we've even got an interesting haircut. Milligan's gone with the mohawk, it looks like. So, got to be confident if you're going to sport that kind of a haircut.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Well, there's some crazy haircuts in the Waratahs lineup as well. We'll see them come to the field shortly. Traditional playing mind games. Matt Chidgey before the game. He was quietly confident with his side's chances here today. Of course, they took good account of the Merewether Carlton side in the last game, but in the first game, the midweek catch-up game, Merewether Carlton got out to that flying start, but then were pegged back.
Yeah, look, the Greens' second round hasn't been good. The catch-up game was one of their better games of the season, obviously. They got out really, really quick, held on late, but they really have got to turn their late season form around to match this Waratah team.
Well, the Tars come out, and Carl Manu leading them out, the crowd not really getting behind the Waratah side, firmly in the favour of the Green side here today. So up against it.
I suppose a lot of the lower grade Greens blokes are here, and I think Waratah have only got about 16 in their lower grade, so maybe it's hard to draw from that crowd.
Boom, boom. Well, it's going to be a big game. It'll be Waratah to kick off. Jared Logan is the referee here today, Newcastle's premier referee. We saw a couple of cards come out yesterday. Will discipline be a factor here? And it's one thing that can let the Waratahs side down, Dennis.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been Wanderers' Achilles heel in the last 2 weeks. I mean, they got away with it against Merewether Carlton, but obviously didn't get away with it yesterday. So, yeah, discipline in any game of football is incredibly important, and you don't want to be playing these games with anything less than 15 players.
Of course, Bar TV Sports sponsored by Top Better. Get in the game with Top Better. topbetter.com.au. We're just about to get to kick-off here. Jared Logan signals time on, and it is showtime here at number 2. And that is a lovely pinpoint accurate kick. It goes backwards. Waratahs come up and through. Davies making good run. Head in some heavy contact there. So mistake early on, Dennis.
Oh, look, that's a great kick, isn't it? It's not necessarily a mistake by Merewether when you can pinpoint them that high and in that direct part of the field. That was a great kick-off.
Well, the AO running wide there of Peniata. Here comes Mirilakis. Got the ball now. The country player of the year. And it's a good run, keeping those legs driving. As Davies goes out to Roberts. Frank Roberts. Good run by the number 4, the veteran number 4. He's the heart and soul of this Waratahs club. Captain the start of the year. Davies spotting a little gap as Crichton comes back for it. Juggles it. Under immense pressure there. Bailey gets him on his own line. What are the Greens going to do here? They have to pick and drive. They do so. Getting themselves almost out of trouble.
They're staying patient. They could get themselves out of a bit of trouble here, the Greens.
Comes back now. Ball charged down and nothing going right for the Greens early on. Here's Peniata coming up with the ball. Places the ball. The Greens scramble.
They've got numbers out here, Waratah.
Yeah, ball engaged. Lettingham's calling for the ball. Gets the ball now. Here comes Manu. They cut him out. They go wide. Pat Ingle, the fullback. Brought down. Greens scramble well. Eddie Clifton. Oh, nice steal there. Good little turnover from the Greens halfback.
They really needed that one.
Sneddon set for the ball. Takes a nice little run. He's held up, though. The body height's terrible. And I tell you what, Waratahs, he's a strong player, isn't he, the number 5?
Yeah, probably lucky to get away with that one, Greens. You're right. He was one out. His body height was ordinary, but they've drawn a penalty.
Well, Waratahs, he's had a couple of big runs out there. And certainly running wide off Pennyarda. They're showing a bit more dimensional play, I guess, here.
Yeah, look, I was surprised. They did have numbers. They probably went one play too late. The numbers were there probably on the first one, and when they did go, the Greens scrambled well.
Well, Billy Dunn's the hooker. The little engine that could, they call him. And the throw goes to the back, hits the mark. Here's Smith. Here's Jerome Wilson making his run-on debut here today. The Waratahs just creeping forward there as Big Wendell Wilhelmus takes the ball forward. He's strong in the tackle.
He's drawn a few in there.
Here's Jerome Wilson again. The brothers combining. And here's Big Wendell again. It's a two-man team at the moment, Dennis.
Yeah, it is. It's just back and forward, Wilson to Wilson.
So here's Strawn on the far side. Snedden takes one himself. He's a little bit isolated there as the Waratahs dive over the ball.
Just got to be patient
Cam
here.
Turner absolutely belted by Hines there. Jerome Wilson picks and drives.
Taken off him.
Oh, it's been stolen, and they use it here. Here's Pennyarda turning the ball on the inside. Lapola, Lettingham.
Numbers.
Kicks in behind the line. Here comes Bailey. Oh, has it been grounded? I don't know. Yes, it has, Logan says. The little halfback, Eddie Clifton.
Yeah, great work from Clifton. Covered across there. They were in a bit of trouble there. I don't know if the kick was the right option. I would have liked to have set the Waratah to keep it in their hands, but it certainly almost led to a try.
Well, plenty of pressure here. The Greens going nowhere midfield there, and Waratahs came up with a strip. They just haven't consolidated the ball as we look at the replay here, Dennis.
Yeah, it's just turnovers of Green. That's what hurt them last week against Wanderers. Just turnovers whilst in possession of the ball, obviously, and that's what's hurting them again early in this game.
Well, look at the drop kick there. It's gone almost 80 metres, chipping over the top and not able to go with it. It was a poor chase, really, by the Greens. So the Waratahs come up with it again.
Good
That's a good run there by Lapola. Ball comes out, Lettingham. Goes behind Manu. Manu getting the big palm out on Mac Ray.
Yeah, good tackle, Mac Ray.
And Fogarty getting there, taking him over the sideline. And that is the play of the day for the Greens so far.
Yeah, they've got to get into this game, the Greens. They kick chase again. Great drop kick. Kick chase was ordinary. Chip over the top. We had no second line. They've got to start to turn this around, get into this game.
Well, they're using numbers here, the Carlton side. Got a couple of big bodies out in that backline. Oh, picked up by Hines. He's everywhere, Hines. Rokotolu getting a ball away. Pennyarda, they feed it nicely. Big Leo, he looks good for number 8. As they try to kick in behind, it's picked up by Snedden. Knock on, says Logan.
Again, I don't know that was the right option there from Waratah. I just think that at the moment, with the lion's share of possession they're getting, you want to keep it in your hands. Make the Greens tackle.
Yeah, certainly interesting options, isn't it?
Yeah,
as you said.
Obviously a game plan they've come in with, because that's about his third time he's kicked the ball in the first 5 minutes.
And they do have so many good ball runners as well. They make easy meters off those fringes. I remember the Carlton, that's where they let themselves down last week in that sort of fringe, the centre field, the midfield.
Absolutely, they were ordinary defensively. They were letting them run, and Waratah at this stage not necessarily taking on there. They're happy to get in behind them. The line out was an interesting start from the Greens. 2 good throws, which they struggled with a bit last week, and then unfortunately turned the second one over.
Well, it's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes you're just better off getting through the first few and throwing to 2 and 4, keeping it simple as they go short side. They've got numbers here, the Waratahs. Bailey's on the outside, flick pass to Bailey. Bailey will open up, and Bailey will score in what is a pretty easy try.
Yeah, look, again, disappointing from the Greens. I think in that instance, he really needed to trust his inside man that he was going to get there and stay on his winger. As soon as he came in, created 2-on-1 and a great pass to his winger leading to the try.
Yeah, certainly did. He drew the man in. The little flick pass came out from Davies, the Welsh under-20s halfback.
Yeah, he started well. Yeah, look, they got caught out there on the blind too, and that's an inexperienced bloke on this side of the scrum in Jerome Wilson.
Jerome Wilson, yeah, that's right. Wasn't really aware to it. We see on the replay there, he looked around. Mac Ray came across, but Wilson really had to be there, coming across in cover.
Look, watching the replay there, and I think Mac Ray had the halfback, so I think what we needed for Blake to really be confident in his lock forward and stick on his winger.
Oh, look at that kick. Comes across inside. Cam Davies. Well, they've lost Dane Sherritt, and they found Cam Davies because that was a pretty good kick, which made it over the post in the end.
Not the start the Greens were looking for, obviously, and I think at the moment they've got a bit of after watching that drop kick, I think they've got a wind advantage in this first half as well.
Yeah, the wind picked up a little bit. Certainly isn't as bad as it was here yesterday. It was an absolute gale. Very cold. So completely different conditions as Crichton goes deep. Better kick, goes over the top of Lettingham, gets a little leg break there and goes in between the sticks.
Yeah, Green's showing their hand a little bit there. They're going to go deep at every opportunity.
Well, I think they have to. They haven't really had the ball. They're playing a little bit differently to what they did last week, not really looking for the kicking option early on.
No. We're going back to a scrum in midfield here.
Yeah, interesting call by Jared Logan. But the Specsavers referees never get it wrong.
No, they never do. Waratah stacking one side of the field, stacking the short side.
Matt Ireland is on the open side here. Jerome Wilson in the scrum on the big blind side. This could be a good old-fashioned crossfield kick here.
Oh, turnover in the scrum.
Oh, nice scrum by the Greens. Tight head one. Not expecting that, the Waratahs, as Smith feeds Crichton. Crichton on his own out there, gets a clever little kick towards the sideline and touched outside there, I believe, by Pat Ingle. Tries to get a kick in. Alex Hills picks it up. So the Greens with the first opportunity in this match to attack. Jerome Wilson, he's had a big effort so far, been busy. Goes behind Wendell this time. Here's Strawn chiming in. Tries to get out Lalunga. Lalunga can't get him down, and Fogarty straightens up there. And Snedden again picking and driving. Offside there, the Waratahs, as Big Wendell takes one up. Passing to Jerome Wilson. Jerome Wilson can't get a ball away there to Ireland. Strawn again getting involved. Little pass, little interchange of passing, and that one goes behind, and Snedden picks up again. He's done well, picking up the scraps, Snedden.
Just got to be patient here, Merewether. That's what they weren't last week. They've got to be patient. Go through their phases.
Well, we saw yesterday Southern Beach is doing a great job with those. They turn the ball over, and there's trouble now on the far side as Cam Davies kicks for his winger, Chase Hicks. As Fogarty comes across, but he's isolated. They're going to have to do something here and get back the Greens as they pile in numbers. Oh, charged down there by Clifton. Had numbers on the outside, should have looked to them.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a dog's breakfast at the moment, Merewether. They've just got to calm down, go through their phases, get back to their patterns of play. It's a little bit disjointed at the moment.
So Billy Dunn. They go to the back again and erring on the side of caution. They're not at the moment in this line as Jerome Wilson takes another hit up. He's been busy. Goes back now to Crichton. Crichton taking on the kicking duties and placing it perfectly there between Ingle and Chase Hicks on the far side. The kick comes out and it's a touch finder. They'll take them up close to halfway. So as you mentioned, the Greens need to be patient. And Waratahs, they're certainly coming off their line at the moment and really giving it to them, aren't they?
Oh, look, and they always do early in games. They're a very aggressive team. They're a big physical side, but you've just got to stand up to that early, go through your phases, get numbers at the breakdown, maintain your own possession, and see if you can wear the big guys down.
Ball comes off the top. Hills juggles it, comes down with it, and makes a good 5 metres there. Smith goes now to Fraser Price. The ball goes to nobody. Crichton, Strawn, and Manu comes through, showing all his experience and awareness. The Waratahs captain, Billy Dunn, taking a hit up. Good run there by the hooker. Clifton getting out from halfback there, just certainly drawing in a couple of players, Dennis.
Yeah, he's plenty of runs, Jerome Wilson. He's had a good start.
Oh, pass under pressure to Snedden. Gee, he's played well so far, Snedden. Underrated Green's bookend, and that was a very good clean out there by Big Wendell, and that is a high up and under. Coming through on it is Fraser Price. Fogarty almost getting the kick, but the Waratahs, they lose the ball. Hills on the far side has it, but referee Logan's going to come back for the double knock on.
It was an interesting option, wasn't it? The up and under. But yeah, it worked for the Greens. It went up and no one really wanted it.
Well, it didn't come down with snow on it. It came down with stars on it. It was that high. Fraser Price.
Might have a kicking game, Fraser, we haven't seen yet.
Well, I believe he played in the 20s for the Canterbury Bankstown, or maybe even the 18s for Canterbury.
Yeah, it's good pedigree, isn't it? You know,
and of course his father, he's grown up with rugby league through his veins, and now he's playing for the Greens.
He's certainly a chip off the old block, isn't he? He's not unlike in stature with his father.
A little bit taller. So the ball comes out. Good scrum again by the Greens. Oh, they go short side. There's nobody out there. Clifton inside to Mac Ray. Can't come up with it. Knock on, says Logan.
Lucky, I thought it might have been another turnover. Obviously, one of the Waratah guys got their hand on that ball.
Geez, they're certainly looking for chances, aren't they? They're trying to create something out of nothing at the moment, the Greens, when structure's really how to beat this Waratah side, I think.
Yeah, what they look like at the moment, Merewether, there's a side with little confidence, really, doesn't it? They're looking to try to create confidence by scoring off their first or second phase, whereas what they need to do is go back to what they do at training. I'm sure this is not how they train. They would train by going through patterns of play and going, phase after phase. So they've got to get back to that and just have the confidence that if they can go through those passages of play, those phases, the space will come for them.
And I mean, that's been the difference of the year, hasn't it? That's why Southern Beach has got into third there. A credit to their coaching staff through Johan and Filippo and Delore. They've done well as the Greens now attack. Inside Milligan. Oh, he's upended there. I think it was Hines. Yes, it was. Island now going forward. The Lunga wrestling to the ground. Here comes Jerome Wilson. Dummies on the inside. Inside ball to Billy Dunn, who's picked up and driven. So Cam Davies is all over the balls. Wilson looks to clean out. Clifton searching for the ball. Little kick in behind by Fraser Price. Coming across is Chase Hicks. It's close. Chase Hicks does the job and grounds the ball.
Look, I don't mind that option in behind, but you've got to have the outside blokes knowing what's going on, and unfortunately Fraser probably was the only one that knew what was happening there.
Well, again, it's that individual stuff that the Merewether Carlton, they don't need to do it. They need to work as a team if they're going to be any shape to come back here. 15 minutes down, and it's been a pretty fast-paced match, Dennis.
Yeah, it's just one side hasn't really sort of absolute authority, have they? No one's been willing to just go through their phases and just try to apply pressure and maintain their pressure. Good run.
Oh, here comes Strawn. Strawn getting through a couple, making about 30 metres there off that drop kick. And that's a penalty. It's in kicking distance. It'll be interesting to see what the Greens do. We saw last week, had the chance to go for points, decided against it, and I think that was the turning point for them last week.
Certainly was last week, wasn't it? They could have went in up 9-7, and they're going to go for the kick.
Yeah, they're going to go for points. Be interesting to see who puts his hand up this week. Yeah, Blake Crichton has the kicking duties here today. Well, he's a veteran now of the side, Crichton, as well as Strawn. They came through together, came over as juniors, I guess, from Southern Beaches.
Yeah, Strawn is much the same shape as when he started, but certainly Blake's a little bit bigger.
Oh, if anything, Strawn's looking more and more like a hooker every day, Dennis.
Yeah, he might have got shorter, do you think?
When he moves into the front row, which I'm sure he will later in his career, I dare say he'll lose a couple of inches.
Well, he seems to do a lot of running through the middle of the forwards, doesn't he? He'd be the quickest forward in town, I imagine.
In any case, here's Crichton. Comes in for the kick. And the flags go up. So Merewether Carlton, first points of the day, 7-3. is the score. So 7-3 is the score. As we go to the kickoff here. Lettingham has the ball. We'll see again. He had a very good start to the match and takes about a metre or so in front of the kicker, and that's a better take by the Greens. Here comes Jerome Wilson again.
It's about his 10th run, Jerome. Very busy.
Oh, look at that. That's a lovely kick downfield. The spiral kick. You don't see that too often.
No, you don't.
So, Ingle now looking for some space. Finds Crichton. Crichton getting a nice little punchy kick over the top there and finds touch. Cam Davies looking for the quick one. Goes for it. Here's Peniata as Billy Dunn gets in front of his opposition number, but Peniata winning the battle that time. They go short side as Lettingham gets a kick out on the full, right in front of the Greens crowd. And I tell you what, they're giving it to him here, Dennis.
Yeah, they won that little battle, didn't they, the Greens? They played on quick Waratah, but they weren't really ready for it themselves. And that was a spiral of sorts out in the full.
Yeah, certainly, and it makes me wonder if Waratah are confident in the line out. Oh, nicely done there by Hines. He's been everywhere. The Waratahs breakaway really does a lot of work around the park that goes unnoticed. As now Ireland gets through, and that's a little knock on by the Greens there.
Yeah,
they're very strong in the tackle at the moment, aren't they, the Waratahs? They're holding up the Greens and making it hard for them.
Yeah, they are. Look, and that's why the Greens have got to get numbers at the breakdown. You've got to get numbers, support your players, but that's another turnover. The turnovers are even racking up this early in the game for Merewether.
Yeah, it's cost them throughout the back half of this season. This year, start of the year, they were playing pretty well. They had the good structure, they had the flatter structure playing, and it seems like they just try to go that little bit too wide too soon.
Oh yeah, look, I think they're. I said before, I think they're a team playing without a lot of confidence, and when you lose guys of the quality of James Appy and Josh Stewart, I think that does play into the mind as well. But they've got plenty of depth there, so they've just got to get on with the job. They've got 15 blokes out here.
So it's going to be a Waratahs feed. They've chosen to kick all game. I dare say they'll probably take that option again. Good scrum again by the Greens. Waratahs hold strong. Lettingham has it. Back on the inside comes Lalunga. Good run by the inside centre. As Manu cleans out for his partner. Kicked deep downfield by Davies. Strawn is under it. Does a good job there at fullback. Puts a nice high one there. Lalunga and Hines run it. Hines does well. Feeds Manu. Here they go. They counter-attack the Waratahs. Picked up and put on his back, but gets the ball away to Ingle.
They got numbers back behind that kick, Waratah. They did well.
And here's Hines again. Doing everything, the big breakaway there and still going. Oh, they've come up with a turnover, the Merewether Carlton side. Here's Milligan. One-on-one on the far side. Searching for runners. Cam Turner. Coming in the side for Burns. Jerome Wilson, they're playing flat here. They're just pushing the pass. Merewether Carlton looking for kickers there.
There were numbers out here to the left.
As Tom Smith gets the ball downfield, Bailey can't link up there with Pat Ingle. But Bailey, he's elusive and he's strong. He scored one already. Fogarty rounds him up from behind. Poor placement there by the winger. As they floated over the top, Mirilakis advancing the ball, and Rokotolu can't go with it. Billy Dunn feeding Strawn, and Strawn will play safe and into the Waratahs corner. Pat Ingle, he's done well. Got across there. So Eddie Clifton's back. Punches it over the head of Davies there, and it'll hold up and trickle towards the line. Davies under a little bit of pressure, is he? He's going to take the safe option and kick it. Thought he might have taken on his opposition half there.
Crichton takes him on.
Yeah, he's kicked it every time he's got the ball, Crichton.
A good run.
Oh, nicely done there. Merewether draws a penalty, and there's an injured player down there.
There's a good run by Wendell then, got him behind him, and then there was a bit of interference at the back of the breakdown.
So, player down there getting treatment. Just trying to make out who it is. Is it Crichton?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be. I think it is Crichton. Took that ball back at speed into the teeth of the defence. Yeah, he's taking his headgear off. Might be throwing us a little bit.
Yeah, he might be all right. He gets up and looks like he's...
not looking good. Not looking good.
He's come off with a bit of a knee injury there. Or an ankle. Unfortunate there because he was looking pretty good, Crichton. Be interesting to see who they put on. I dare say it might be Hetherington. Coming on as a fresh reserve. No, it's Bassagalupo. Plenty of pace, Bassagalupo.
Yeah, a bit of a club stalwart. Been round in the played a bit of first grade over the last couple of years.
Long rangey winger as well.
Surprised Rouse isn't on the bench.
Yeah, Sam Rouse. I don't know what he's done, but definitely I thought he may have been at least a fresh reserve, and he's an attacking weapon. And
look, a game like this that it's opening up, I think he would have been a perfect guy to bring on.
So the ball comes out now. Fogarty takes it. Oh, big hit there by Leo.
Good run, just bounced off and kept going.
Comes in and really took some space away from them as well as Billy Dunn scraps forward. Coming over the top was Rockatolo. Here comes Big Wendell. Big Wendell. Again, he's been immense early on today as Seddon almost comes through the other side. Tries to do too much there. They dummy to Wilson. Trouble. Short ball to Dunn. The front row doing it all at the moment for the Merewether Carlton side is now Jerome Wilson. Can't get that arm free as Tom Smith came up on the inside. Cam Turner and Billy Dunn picks and drives.
Yeah, this
is better stuff, and they get over the ball there through Peniata for the Waratahs. Strawn has it, accelerates, tries to get through the gap. He's still going. Strawn, he's close. I think he's got there.
I tell you what, if he hasn't got there, it's been a great effort. That was a great run. I thought they probably had numbers to the left, but he took the option to go straight ahead, and he took 2 or 3 blokes with him.
They're having a good chat there too. I think Strawn believes he got it down, as you would, with being the ball carrier, but if the Waratahs have got under that, then you can see the captain there talking to referee Jared Logan. Geez, we might get a replay on that one, Dennis, because I thought he may have got there just before the Waratahs player, but the Waratahs player ended up getting there. Yes. Logan having a chat. Look at the run, though, by Strawn. Comes through the other side. Yeah, no, he was pulled up short.
Yeah, definitely.
Good call.
Definitely pulled up short. It'd be surprising to see if momentum took him across the line.
And didn't he have some? He got through the tackle of Hines, who certainly is no slouch in defence.
That's right. Well, the Greens showed a bit of patience, didn't they? There was the occasional pick and drive, and when they did pick and drive, they found gaps at the edge of that ruck, didn't they, either side?
Well, it's been a tough, hard game here. A physical game. Merewether Carlton with the ball. Clifton Smith to Price. Price dummies to the inside, outside. Here comes Strawn again. Oh, flick pass. Almost going into touch there. Milligan had to jump for it. Did well to get it in the end.
Yeah, look, I think if he could have got that pass on the chest, he was in. But just the fact he had to reach back for it up and high just took away that tiny little bit of time he had to try and control the ball and try and go over.
We'll go to the replay here. What about Fraser Price here? Opens the gate twice.
Yeah, and that's that. Oh, gee, the
Strawn.
pass is a little high. Yeah, look, and that's what you got to do with Strawn. If you can get him one-on-one, as he's shown in the last two runs, he's very hard to tackle one-on-one, and that's what Merewether need to do. Give him mismatches or one-on-ones.
Peniata loses the throw, so the Waratahs come up with it. Here's Jerome Wilson again. Jerome Wilson takes it forward. He's been good today. Here comes Hills. Hills passing the ball. Oh, Fraser Price gets it inside to Tom Smith, and they knock the ball on there.
Yeah, disappointing.
Again, the patience.
Yeah, look, I honestly, in that last passage of play before the scrum, before the line out, the Greens picked and drived a few times and they made good yards at either side. They don't have to go too wide. I think that what the Waratahs are doing is they're not trying to commit too many people to the breakdown and they're standing wide looking for their ball runners. So let's commit a few blokes, drag them in.
So you see now the scrum taking a little bit of time to get set. Logan out there just having a chat to both front row.
They've had a good run in the possession the last 5 minutes, the Greens, so they really want to get away from here with points.
Yeah, they really need to score some points, and just for the confidence, even if they take away 3.
Yeah, I think that's what that kick was earlier, wasn't it? It was just a settler.
Oh, good secondary push there by the Greens. Picked up off the back by Liao. Getting the big palm out. Wilson very aggressive in the breakdown, and that's a penalty to Merewether Carlton.
Yeah, great work by Jerome Riss. It was a big, heavy tackle, and then he counter-rucked. He took the space, went over the top, and Waratah came in offside.
Yes, certainly. Jerome Wilson, he's been a masterstroke almost by Sykes. He's certainly been the best player out there as they go for the scrum here, the Greens.
Yeah, well, look, he's ball running. I mean, we spoke about they needed an extra ball runner at the moment. Him and Wendell are the only ball runners, aren't they? They're the ones in the forwards who are rolling their sleeves up.
Billy Dunn. Don't forget Billy.
Yeah, no, Billy's had a crack at a couple of runs. And obviously Sneddo's had a couple of little pick and drives too. Like I said, he poked his nose through the other side just by picking and driving. It's a skill that we don't often see in the modern game, is it? But it certainly can work against this Waratah pack.
Yeah, certainly putting him on the back foot. They don't like the chase too much, the team in red. So Merewether Carlton with a pretty flat back line set. Milligan standing quite wide. And here's Smith. Smith getting it behind to Basigalupo. Had to stop for it. Oh, Milligan dropping the ball. Did well previously when he grabbed the ball, but that time the ball going out of his clutches and should have taken that really.
Oh, yeah, look, I'd like to see the Greens. They're going wide at every opportunity. I think sometimes it's a little bit predictable. Okay, they're putting on different plays, but it's always going wide. I'd like to see them occasionally just hit it up, have a crash ball, bring it back in towards the forwards, and let's go a few phases. We've got to start committing a few of these Waratah blokes to get the one-on-ones.
So it'll be a scrum on the far side, and both scrums have been fairly evenly matched. The Merewether side will look to attack here, though, I'd expect, Dennis.
Yeah, look, they've got to attack this scrum, haven't they? They've been down here for a while. We thought they might have taken the kick there and got to 7-6, but they opted to go to the scrum and unfortunately turned the ball over from the scrum.
Well, they did it last week, and I guess we're made to pay for it. Big time in the second half, the Greens, and they come now. They put pressure on the scrum. It's a good scrum by the Greens. Davies comes back with it and Lettingham drives it downfield. Strawn couldn't get there on the full. And he'll punch the ball downfield. And Davies has done a good job to sweep across. And he's done an even better job there for the Merewether Carlton side. Again in front of that big Merewether Carlton crowd that's here today. And they certainly made it known.
Yeah, Yeah, another poor kick. Look, just in this game, it just seems like at the moment, whoever can take control, there's a lot of mistakes by both sides. No side is starting to assert their authority. Just any side that can maintain possession, be a bit patient, could take a big chunk out of this game.
Well, they go to the back again. Oh, yes, Hills comes up with it. The Waratahs players look like they may have encroached, and Jared Logan's going to blow the penalty. They have not given him the 10 metres there. Calls for get him on side, and be interesting to see who takes the kicking duties here now. Dennis? It looks like
Fraser Price.
Fraser Price is going to be the one to take the shot at goal. Haven't seen him kick, so it's a surprise to everyone. Strawn as well. Not a recognised goal kicker, but he can kick goals.
Well, no, we had him kicking in the 2011 grand final. I think he kicked about 3 from 3 that day. Knocked one over from the sideline.
Well, with a trunk like that, you've got the distance.
Yeah, well, I never had a lot of confidence in his kicking, but he got the job done that day.
Well, it's certainly a testament to his character. He certainly lifts for the big games, does Strawn. But the Waratahs, they've done well to hold out the Greens. To their credit, the Greens have done themselves no favours, but the Waratahs' defence, they just keep getting up and really giving it to them as Fraser Price comes in, hits it, comes around, and he's done a pretty good job there, Price. Yeah, so the score now 7-6.
Yeah, he looked a bit ungainly then, didn't it? But it come off the boot all right, straight over the black dot. Yeah, look, I think with the Greens, with all that territory they had, unfortunately there just wasn't a lot of footy played, was there? We seem to be going from set piece to set piece to set piece.
I'm surprised he's not a toe poker like his old man.
Yeah, there's a long time since we've seen one of those. I don't think I've seen it with the old leather balls when we see the toe pokers.
Ball taking a while to get back. 7-6 the score, 32 minutes down. Both sides still in this match with a chance, still in this match to progress in this semi-finals, and look at that. What a kick.
Yeah,
Merewether come up with it, but that's a knock-on by Big Wendell just getting a hand on it.
Yeah, what a great kick, wasn't it? It was high and it was right in the corner, probably 5 metres in. Yeah, great
and don't forget the sun as well. It would have been squarely in the eyes of the players on the far side.
Yeah, that was a cracking. Those restarts, they're incredibly hard. Be Waratah's first crack at the Greens in their territory for some time.
For a good 15, nearly 20 minutes, they haven't been in the Merewether side's half all match. And that's a good scrum by the Waratahs side. Davies standing wide, goes to Lalunga, passes to Manu under pressure. Chase Hicks comes around. We know he's quick, he's elusive. He's stepping away. And in the end, Smith picks him up, but he still makes another 5 or so metres. As the Merewether side come over the ball, and they come up with another turnover, but that will be a penalty. Mac Ray just losing his feet there. Davies goes for the quick one. Can he get through? Passes on to Manu, hits the deck. Here's Peniata. Peniata, hard to put down. And he goes backwards to go forwards. There's Fogarty, sticks to the tackle. So they'll pick and drive now through Mirilakis. The Belgian international, Manu, looking for runners. Had Davies on the inside, but finds Hines. Hines crawls towards the line. They go wide. Manu with the good hands. Oh, almost intercepted there by Mac Ray, but that's a penalty to the Waratahs side in front of the sticks.
Yeah,
and you take points there.
You have to, don't you? I mean, you've had little or no field position. That's just a give me.
Well, Peniata, I thought he was going to overrule it and take the quick tap. But Davies, the halfback, comes in and they err on the side of caution, the team in red.
Yeah, look, there's not a lot of structure in this game, is it? It's just the ball's going left, right. You know, Waratah, that's the way they play, isn't it? There's no structure to their game at all.
Well, Chase Hicks, I mean, he looked like he was tackled and then he made another 15 or so metres. The young number 11. Davies comes in, strikes it. The flags go up.
Waratah crowd roar.
Yeah, there's a smattering of them around the ground. Maitland did get one back at the Waratahs last week, though. The cartons that they buy for after the game, they were $50 for two, but they stuck on another 50 for them, apparently, by all reports. So it cost them. The fresh reserves cost them, but it's not costing them this week as they are in the lead by 4. Oh, Strawn does well to pick that up. Lettingham came through on the tackle, and that's a penalty. Quick tap taken by Strawn. Strawn, we know he's good. He's got no support. Oh, and he's taken high. And we might see, once it gets pulled up, that one of these Waratahs players might find some time in the bin.
Yeah, they're even a professional foul at the end of that, weren't they? None of the Waratah guys were onside when the Greens tried to play on from that.
Well, he gets quite a few high shots, Strawn. I'm sure he'll get up from this, and
yeah, it's not something he's unused to. He seems to happen every second week, doesn't it?
Every week. And he normally gets 2 or 3, but that was one of the worst I've seen.
I think it's because he's so hard to pull down. His leg drive's good. People like to try to get him around the body, and he's only got a little body.
Well, he's got that bit of extra time and space too. As we look here at the referee, yeah, definitely staying on the field, Waratah. So referee deeming he swerves at that last minute, and you do have to stick an arm out if you're gonna get any contact to him.
Yeah, look, and I'm happy with that decision as long as it's consistent, because I know in the past we've seen the referees get on their little bandwagon and then any high tackles are sin binning, and obviously not all high tackles have got any intent there. So I'm happy for them to be case by case basis, but as long as it's consistent.
Yeah, definitely. And he was swerving away from him, stuck the arm out.
Yeah, as we said, Strawny gets a lot of high tackles, so it's obviously his running style. The fact that he's always moving, he's low to the ground, and he never runs in a straight line, does he? He's got a great step on both feet.
And that's just at the after-match function. So here's Fraser Price. Hits it and waved away that time. 10-6 the score. 3 minutes remaining in the half. There'll probably be about 2 minutes of injury time, I'd suspect. And it's kicked deep into the Merewether Carlton half.
I think they're letting the ball bounce too much at the moment. Green's got to attack that ball when it's in the air.
Well, I guess Strawn as well. Oh, trying to step around Hines, and Hines putting him well and truly into the ground. Comes off a Waratahs player and goes into touch. So that will be a Merewether Carlton throw.
Yeah, probably lucky to get away with that. The Greens, they didn't really...
It was a poor kick, really, wasn't it? Poor options. They just weren't enthusiastic coming back there, Dennis.
No, it didn't look like anyone knew who was supposed to be getting it. There wasn't a lot of players back around the ball, and I'm pretty sure Bakaluko wasn't expecting that one.
They go to the back to Hills again. Oh, goes over the top. Waratah comes over, and he's dangerous as he makes a few metres more, offloads it, and they go wide now to Lalunga. Manu has it. Plenty of pace as Chase Hicks gets the ball. Fraser Price doesn't stick to the tackle, but stops him in his tracks there. So Waratahs attacking. Can they get a try before half-time? Frankie Roberts.
Yeah, great tackle, Billy Dunn.
Great technique shown by the Merewether Carlton hooker, and good run there by Liao. Dummies by Lettingham. He's wrapped up. Waratah was on his outside. Lalunga calls for it, gets it. Oh, Jerome Wilson comes in out of the line to put a shot on. But they're still going here, the Waratahs. Manu gets a ball away. Hines, dummies. Pulled down by Sneddon. Cam Davies. Flick pass inside there by Rokotolu. Went to ground. So Merewether can't come up with it, but it's a penalty.
Yeah, he was playing advantage there. I'm not sure. He did get off the line quick, but I'd like to have another look at it.
It may have been Yeah, I don't know the reason behind that. He certainly wasn't offside. He came from his blind side, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't think he. It certainly wasn't a high tackle. He got the shot on and then fell off.
That's the flick pass to go to ground.
There's a couple of phases after, isn't it? Yeah, probably a little on the unlucky side then, Merewether.
There's now Davies in front of the sticks to extend the lead. It's coming down to kicking. Both sides have been fairly evenly matched throughout the game. Waratahs have been starved of opportunity, but Merewether certainly haven't made the most, have they, of their opportunities?
No, certainly not. With the field position they had there for a good, probably 15 minutes, to come away with 6 points is probably a little bit under par.
So short, high kick. Hines comes up with it. He's strong in the air. As McRae tries to get over the ball. They'll pressure here. They do. Davies flicks the ball inside. Kick over the top, and that is a knock-on. So the Greens now with one more opportunity coming into half-time. They need to make it count here.
Again, I'd like to see them be a bit patient here. I know I keep harping on about it, but I don't want to see them go wide too early. Let's maybe crash one up with Fraser Price, go straight through the middle, and let's try to get some phase together, suck a few of these Waratah players in, and then get numbers that way.
Well, Tom Smith, he's shown good composure in the 2 games he started, and I think he really needs to take control here and get some forwards running off him, or even tell the forwards to get inside him. And
yeah, I think occasionally take the line on. That creates a little bit of doubt in the defence's mind, doesn't it? If they're not know whether you're going to pass or run.
Good scrum. Oh, comes out, knocked on by Clifton. The inexperience there picked it up on the wrong side of the number 8's legs, and that will be half-time. Clifton taking the headgear off, and that is a lacklustre end to a very good half of football. The Tars in front, 13-6. We're going to take a quick break and come back with all the second half action.
Bar TV Sports would like to thank Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au. And Cornelia's Crump, the Bar TV Sports beverage of choice. And Rams Loans for supporting the 2016 NHRU Premiership.
Well, we're back after that quick break there. Waratahs in control at the moment and certainly making the most of their opportunities. They haven't had too many but certainly putting the points on the boards. And the Greens, I think they made a mistake again this week without taking that 3 when they took the scrum early on. What about you, Dennis?
Yeah, it was certainly in kicking range, and we always say that you want to score tries. There's no doubt in the world that's what everyone wants to score in footy. But when you've got field position, you've got it for a length of time. You want to come away with points. There's nothing that dints your confidence a bit when you spend a long time in the opposition's 22 and come away with nothing.
Well, it was an odd choice just to have the scrum. They could have gone for the line and tried to put on a rolling maul.
Yeah, and I think that would have been a great idea. The line out's been solid today. Hasn't been great, but it's been solid. So I think a rolling maul. We haven't even tested the Waratahs the Greens haven't tested the Waratahs in that facet of play. Look, Stacey Sykes has got 40 minutes to rev these guys up. I thought at the end of that half they looked incredibly flat. The kick chase wasn't great, even when they were kicking to us. There wasn't blokes getting back around the ball to assist Strawn. And even when the ball's being kicked, the Greens aren't attacking the ball while it's in the air. So they've got 40 minutes, and there's everything to play for.
Well, it's the difference between the halves at the moment as well. Cam Davies and Lenningham really leading their team around, really playing on the front foot as well, and really communicating with their forwards, even though they do play, I guess, the ad hoc style, the ad-lib style, and they certainly look like they control the game a little bit better than the Merewether Carlton halves, the young halves pairing. Yeah,
definitely inexperienced halves pairing for the Greens. And, yeah, Cam Davis especially, wasn't he? He kicking game for a halfback doesn't... it's starting to come into the game now, halfbacks with kicking games, and he's certainly one that has a good kicking game, and he used that to good effect in that first half. And I think with the second half, they'll be running with... I think there is a bit of a breeze there, and I think it is favouring Waratah in this second half. So certainly they go in not only with a 13-6 advantage, but an advantage of, a decent kind of win behind them. I don't think it's a great win, but I certainly think it's an advantage.
Yes, and Peniata as well, the Waratahs hooker. He's probably been the standout along with Rokotolu and their big number 8 as well, Liao. They've certainly been damaging when they do have the ball.
Yeah, they like getting the offloads. They get their arms free, and look, as this game wears on, that could be telling if the Greens don't make those first up tackles.
Yeah, certainly, as we see now, the Greens getting in the huddle. There's 40 minutes to play in either side's season. The game is hotting up. Jared Logan has blown the whistle as the Greens stay in the huddle a little bit longer. The Waratahs are set to receive the kick. And this should be a pretty big half of rugby here for the Rams 2016 Premiership. Of course, the season also brought to you by NIB Viatech and the referees Specsavers, Bar TV Sports, of course, our broadcast partner this year, Top Better. Get in the game with Top Better. Great local business, putting money back into grassroots sports, Dennis.
It's a great local business, started by a couple of young fellas from Newcastle, Todd Buckingham, and not young guys anymore, and Craig Pearce, of course. Great local company doing good things in the local area, so get behind the Top Better guys.
Exactly right. So the kickoff to come. Bassagalupo has it, so taken over directly from Crichton, the tall, rangy winger. So it's game on here, second half in the Rams 2016 semi-final series. Taken nicely there by Rokotolu. Makes about 10 metres off that kick. Davies goes to Hines. Hines advances the ball. Lapola it was. Davies looking for Manu, but he's going to take the option to kick. And again, going over the head of Bassagalupo. Did really well to get to the ball on the full. As Strawn punches it downfield. Lalunga will be the man to come back and chase. No, it goes now to Lenningham.
And no one at
Places a nice kick there, as you said. Nobody there. And that will go 10 metres out, 7 metres out from the Greens line. And it's a start, which they saw in the first half.
Yeah, look, it's good awareness from Lettingham, but it's poor awareness from the Merewether Carlton wingers. If your fullback kicks and chases, then one of those wingers has got to cover into his position.
Yeah, well, Bassagalupo, the man on the far side. Even Clifton probably should have dropped back there as well. He was the man that got there in the end. So Billy Dunn, pressure here on this first throw in the second half. They go to the back on their own line. It comes off the top. That is a terrible throw. The ball comes to the Waratahs. Peniata, he's hard to put down. He's 5 metres out. Picking and driving now. Merewether, he's over the line. But he's put on his back and he's held up.
Yeah, again, I think you've said it on a few occasions now. Going to the back, very dangerous when you're close to your line. Very dangerous, and as it proved to be.
I just don't understand. On your own throw, on your own line, surely the safest option is to go to 2 there.
Yeah, all you want to do is win it, don't you? You want to win it, take it down and get it out of there.
Go to 1 if you have to.
Just go to whatever your safest option is.
So centre field scrum in front of the sticks. It's all Waratah in the first couple of minutes here.
Yeah, look, it's going to be... If Waratah score here, I don't know that there's a way back for the Greens.
So they've got the left-hand side. I wouldn't say it's the short side. They've got that stacked again with Bailey on the far side. I'd like to take a guess that the number 8, Liao, is probably going to go towards Bailey's side here. And yes, they do. Davies steps away. Bailey, he's one-on-one here. Bacigalupo had no chance, really. And Bailey is over.
Far too easy, wasn't it? Yeah.
You could see it coming. They set up for it. Merewether Carlton took the bluff.
Yeah, all they wanted to do was get him one-on-one, and certainly when they did, he just straight around or straight inside Bacigalupo and straight to the line. Look, defence wins premierships. I've always said that. There's a lot to going to premiership. You've got to have good defence, and unfortunately the Greens, that was a hard one for Bacigalupo, one-on-one, but still you've got to make those tackles. You want to win premierships, you want to win games of football come September, you've got to make your one-on-one tackles.
Yeah, you certainly do, and you can see he's a happy man there.
Again, it came from the line out. We had a line out, close line, so it's come from a couple of Greens mistakes. When you look back, they didn't cover from their own kick. They got them into bad field position. They turned over their own line out, and then they've missed a tackle that's led to a try.
Yes, certainly. As Davies, this is his hardest kick of the game. On the sideline, 5 in from touch.
Worst possible start for Merewether. They must be next to score in this game. I said a minute ago that I thought it's a long way back, and I really, really do. It's the 12-point margin now, but they've just got to they've got to be the next team to score.
So Bacigalupo drives it downfield. They go deep again, the Greens. Similar start to the first half, and they go touch and goal, and that will come all the way back to halfway. So it's almost a carbon copy of how they started that first half. They're behind on the scoreboard now, 18-6, and they really need to stop these mistakes. Otherwise, the Waratahs are going to run away with this semi-final, Dennis.
Oh, certainly. They were just making too many errors. The second half has just been an error-a-thon at the moment. They've made 3 or 4 errors, and now they're inviting Waratah back in again. You look at the Waratah kick-off in the first half, every time they've kicked off, it's been pinpoint, it's been designed to put Merewether under pressure and return the ball, or gain possession themselves, and Merewether just kicking deep and giving Waratah a scrum on halfway. Setting up very similar to what they did under the 6. Let's see if it's the same result.
They go short side again. As you said, it was coming. Bacigalupo's up. He's under pressure. Bailey. He's come alight this second half, and Strawn kicks it downfield. Lettingham, again, positioned well, but Strawn was hit in back play there, off the ball.
I think Dylan Hines got him. It might have been a touch late, I'm not sure, but certainly the referee's seen it and he thinks it's late.
And certainly Strawn doing his best to, I wouldn't say milk the penalty, but his chances here is, he didn't really touch him there. So Strawn's done well.
Yeah, certainly.
Won himself a little BAFTA award.
Yeah, oh, wow, that's heavy.
Yeah, 10 in the bin. Wow, he must have got some help from his touch judges there, Logan. So this certainly makes it interesting for the Greens. Dylan Hines, he's copped a couple of red cards this year. And it'd be yellow cards, sorry. It'd be interesting to see if he gets red carded if they do advance for next week.
Yeah, certainly. I think that's a little harsh. I don't think there's a lot in it. Like I said, as long as they're consistent, and that one there, it wasn't particularly late and it wasn't particularly high.
Well, it may have been more a case it was a shoulder charge. Didn't really get the interpretations. Wilson, can he lift this Green side as Clifton Flat ball now to Fogarty. Haven't seen too much of the outside centre here. And here's Wilson again.
Yeah, he's been good for the Greens. He's been one of the few that's willing to roll his sleeves up.
Stepping again is Strawn. Trying to lift his side. Oh, coming through is Merewether. Well done by the Waratah side. And again, Snedden is there to clean up the scraps. But he's held up there and they've stripped the ball off him. And now Merewether advances the ball. Peniata. Here they come. Lalunga. Carl Manu has Hicks on the outside. Might not need to use him. Goes inside. Peniata goes without the ball. Jumping on the ball was Billy Dunn. The Waratahs still have the ball and they remain in possession. And now it's been stolen now by Hills. But they clean out the Tars. They come over the top and that is a penalty. Diving over, says Jared Logan. Leadingham is blowing up. He thought it was fair, and to be honest, so did I, Dennis.
Yeah, it was a funny one, wasn't it? Billy Dunn cleaned up, but I think he's copped a bit of a head knock there, so he stayed down. Waratah got the ball, then the Greens got their hands on it. But you're right, I thought it was a fair counter ruck by Waratah. I think the Greens have got off it a little lightly there.
So that comes through the Greens. Jared Logan looks like he wants to stop play. No, they're going to make a change. Junior Polai is coming on the field. Very good player in his own right. As we see Lapola come on. So Junior comes on the field. And that's a pretty good option to have. And there is a safe throw there by the Greens. Fraser Price bounces off one. Finds Strawn in the end. And Strawn does what he should have done earlier on. Runs straight and hard. There's Fogarty.
Only knows one way, Strawn. He's straight ahead.
Picked up there, Fogarty. Jerome Wilson. Here he goes. He's really lifting now, Wilson. Fraser Price, flat ball now to Big Wendell to Snedden. Snedden takes on Peniata. Good run by Snedden. Really impressed at his improvement throughout the year, Snedden. As now Strawn feeds Billy Dunn. He's held up again and good strength in the tackle by the Waratahs. Clifton gets the ball to Strawn and Hills is under a bit of pressure. He escapes the tackle though and makes a good 15 metres. They pick and drive now through Mac Ray.
Great yards.
This is where they're at their best, the Greens. They go to Strawn now. He's playing in at first receiver. Eddie Clifton. So the captain for Merewether Carlton, Strawn, really lifting. They'll pick and drive here as Wilson. Good strong run by the former Central Charlestown player. Jay Strawn finds a little gap, gets through it. He'll go all the way, will he? No, he's cut short. He gets over the line, and that is a try to Strawn. As we said earlier, the captain has lifted his team, and he has got them on the scoreboard with a well-worked individual try, Dennis.
Yeah, look, the Greens showed a bit of patience. We spoke about earlier. There's a few pick and drives there, getting in behind the Waratah blokes. And then when it went right, Strawn had a quick look. They were thinking it was going to go wide. He just put his head down and went straight ahead, and that's another great run by the captain.
Well, he's taken a barrage of knocks. He looks like he's a little bit winded there. As Clifton now, we see Strawn. The gap just opened up. They hung off him. He got into first receiver a couple of times in that set of phases, and he passed, he offloaded. That time they hung off him. He made the big dummy, got through and scored, Dennis.
Yeah, look, we spoke about Tommy Smith having a actually showing and going occasionally and taking on the line. And when Strawny went into first receiver, like you said, he gave the first 2 or 3 times he was there. And on that occasion, he showed the ball and went. I just think it adds a little bit of doubt. The Waratahs are sitting wide, waiting to pick off our wide runners. We've got to go a little bit more direct, or the Greens have to go a little bit more direct, and they did in that passage of play. Credit to Strawny, and they're back in the game now. They're given a chance.
Well, they're well back in the game. 18-11 is the score. And the flags go up. Basagalupo makes no mistake of it. So there's been about 12 minutes gone in the half, and this is another high kick. Oh, Chase Hicks comes through, and Wilson thought he may have almost been offside there. I thought it came off a Greens player.
Yeah, I think it'd come off a red bloke into a green player, so it'll be knock on by the Reds.
So the Merewether Carlton side will have a chance to pack the scrum.
Certainly another instance where the Greens watched the ball a little bit of ball watching there. The winger for Waratah came through and attacked it. Unfortunately, just couldn't hang on to it.
Yeah, so 12 minutes gone in the half as we wait here for Jared Logan. Looks like there might be a couple of substitutions coming on. Can't see what's going down there on the sideline, but Snedden looks like he may have been opened up.
Might be a blood issue, yeah.
A little bit of claret.
He's had quite a good game today, James Snedden. Made the advantage line on more than one occasion, picked and drive a few times. He's had quite a good game for the Greens.
Yeah, really, and certainly he's been there picking up the scraps as well. So he's been heavily involved, and of course he is the major sponsor of our Man of the Match of the award, the Dus Hunt House Pork Knuckle of the Week.
Obviously a popular figure around the town then.
Oh, yeah, he is. He's the restaurateur. Plenty of ideas in that head of his. So this green scrum, it's been good all day against the bigger pack. And they drive forward again that time. Tom Smith goes to Fogarty. Fogarty straightens up the attack. This is better stuff from the Carlton side. Looking for runners. Clifton didn't have support. He was put under pressure, and it was good hustle there by the Waratah side in front of the sticks. And I dare say they'll probably go for points here.
Yeah, certainly the points will be on offer here. Again, another turnover by the Greens. They've had that scrum. They unfortunately isolated himself, and Waratah were quick to take advantage.
Well, Cam Davies, the little Welsh halfback, he just had a little bit of a push and shove there with Jerome Wilson. And
to be fair, that's
he's from Colwyn Bay, which is pretty rough around the edges in North Wales. So I bet he can scrap.
Yeah, look, that's their job, halfback, isn't it? It's to niggle. They stand behind the forwards, chirping away. That's their job, to niggle, upset the guys, and as well as steer their team around the paddock.
Well, he wasn't in front of anyone there, and I think I saw the blood drain from his face. But in any case, he's got the ball, and he's going to look for the kick. This will put them 3 points further ahead. The Merewether got themselves back into this and letting them down with a little bit of cohesion there off the restart, and in front of the sticks, the flags go up.
Yeah, they're taking the points when they're offer. That's a smart thing to do. You're in the lead in a sudden death semi-final. Just take the points when they're on offer.
Well, the last few years, this game between the Waratahs and the Merewether Carlton side has been won in the last 5 minutes, with the Carlton side on all 3 occasions coming from behind. Can they do it today? As that is a very good kick there as Lalunga goes up for it. Oh, comes out the other side and makes a little break. Looking for support and didn't really have it. Lettingham feeds Liao, and good run by the big number 8. Still going up towards halfway. Oh, not the best kick there by Davies, but finds space. Bassagalupo. He'll put the return kick down, and Davies is back there. A little bit of pressure there by Bassagalupo. Falls off the tackle, though. Davies pops the ball up. It comes into the hands of the Merewether Carlton side. Tom Smith looking for options. Didn't really have any. They go wide to Hills. Hills playing in that wide channel again. Oh, and again coming through there, Davies, and that's going to be a penalty. Offside there. Just jumping the gun. They're certainly pressuring Eddie Clifton, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They're really getting into him there. I think he obviously went a little early there. That's what the penalty's for, obviously. But, yeah, that's a good idea to put pressure on him. They've got a few turnovers from him, so it has been working, just pushing the envelope a little bit on that occasion.
Smith goes for touch, finds it, and the ball crashes into that fence.
We spoke about earlier the Greens going for a rolling. Well, let's see if they haven't tried one all day, so let's see what they do here. They're in good field position. about 15 metres out.
The breeze certainly picked up, and they go to 2, and Alex Hills is in the end. Cleans it up for them. The ball goes wide. Tom Smith picks it up off his bootlaces. Fraser Price ran out of options there. He'll have to do well to get the ball back. Eddie Clifton again has to run around a couple of players to deliver the ball. And again, goes to Matt Island. He's been pretty quiet with ball in hand, Island, but he's done a lot of work defensively, cleaning out.
Need to keep it tight here, Greens. Pick and drive. Start to drag some of these people in.
Yeah, looking for a bit of patience here, the green side, as they go through the other side that time, and that's going to be a penalty. So again, off the hook there, the Waratahs. And it was very good ruck defence by the team in red.
Yeah, defensively they had more patience than the Greens had in with the ball in hand, unfortunately, for the Greens.
So Lettingham goes for touch into the breeze, and it's a good touch finder, getting them up towards halfway. There's now Hines coming back on the field. Goes over and has the obligatory chat with Logan to settle it down. He's got very good timing in defence, Hines, and the discretion he got sent off for was a little bit uncharacteristic, like, because he normally, when he hits, he sticks. And here's big stand for you.
Yeah, I think it's a good change for the Greens. He's a great ball runner, this kid, so I think that's a good change.
Well, he wasn't named to start, but I guess with Appy out, he's come in a last minute and immediately he makes good effect and bats the ball onto Matt Island. So here they come. Here's Jerome Wilson again. He's been the Greens' best today. That ball goes wide. Mac Ray standing flat, and Hines immediately comes over the top. Fraser Price stepping, gets out of the way of Hines. Still going. He's going across field though. Goes behind. Yeah, that's going to be held up. Billy Dunn. Obstruction called. Looking for the quick one, the Waratahs. Unlucky there, the Merewether Carlton side, but
it's one of those technical ones, isn't it? He definitely ran behind his own play. There's no question. Whether there's any defenders impeding, I doubt it. But yeah, technically he's correct.
Well, the old hands up, I think that rule went out in the 80s. I don't think.
And again, running straight.
It just gives you away.
Yeah, and that one, you've got to go straight. I mean, when you're crabbing a crossfield like that after bouncing off a defender, it's hard. Oh, haven't found touch.
Oh, Milligan, he's had a bad day with the hands, but gets the ball into Strawn in any case, and Strawn finds a bit of open space, and oh, that is a pinpoint kick. Almost, you'd say, lucky, but finds touch. Yeah, over halfway.
Yeah, that's a cracking kick from Strawny under pressure. Pinpoint accuracy's made about 45 metres.
Well, not really known for his kicking, is Strawn, but he's had a pretty good day, finding space all day.
Look, again, I keep waiting for one team to take this game by the scruff of the neck, and at the moment it's just a mistake-a-thon.
20 minutes gone as well. That was Junior there taking a nice little hit up as Lettingham now feeds Manu. Manu looks dangerous every time he touches the ball. So here's Frankie Roberts. He'll be there to the end. They go short side. Lettingham looking for Hicks. He kicks it instead. Strawn coming across.
Yeah, good.
Sorry, not Hicks. It was Ingle on the far side.
It's good play and smart play, isn't it? Just pumping it down into the Greens territory.
So now the Greens, they'll have to work it out. Plenty to do for the Greens to hit the lead here. They're trying a penalty behind, but obviously they'll probably be going for maximum points if they are to win this. And oh, that's not the way to do it as Clifton. He's forced to pick up, makes a little break, but Hines is on him. He's strong, Hines. Clifton does very well to get to ground.
Yeah, I thought he was in a little trouble there.
They look to shift it wide. Oh, Milligan, and he's caught it. My heart was in my mouth, and Manu drives him back. Strawn. getting through the line. Clifton, dummies, Manu offside. Hampering the delivery there. Ball coming back now. And that will be a penalty. Yeah, the Waratahs, they're just creeping a little bit forward.
Yeah, that was coming, you're right. Carl Manu was just in the way there. It should have been a penalty before that. He was just loitering on the one side of the ruck, taking away Clifton's options.
I think we'll see as this Waratah side obviously tires throughout the match. They're going to have to watch that.
Yeah, they've just got to be in position to take advantage of that when it happens, Merewether, because there's no doubt the Waratah, they're a big side, they will tire. So the Greens have just got to stay in touch and be ready to take advantage of it when and if that happens.
Goes to the back to Hills again. That is a better throw. Calling back, says Logan. Oh, inside ball. Jerome Wilson has not passed the ball all day. And he does so on one occasion, and Matt Island drops it cold.
As we said, they've got to take advantage of these little indiscretions from Waratah, and obviously that's not the way to do it. We went wide to Jerome, who's been the Greens' best, certainly their biggest ball runner. He's had numerous carries. Unfortunately offloaded, and Matt Island wasn't ready for it and went to ground.
Well, Stan Fio, he's a big man at the back. Let's see if they can pressure this Waratahs scrum. The Waratahs in their own right, they've been pretty solid in the set piece throughout the game. Lettingham is on the right-hand side. Manu lined up on the left for the Tars. They go to the left towards Manu. Davies does well. Good. Oh, hit by Fogarty. That is an absolute blinding hit. Fogarty, what about that?
That was a cracker.
Certainly lifted the crowd and lifted this Waratah side as Liao takes them on. Good run by the number 8. Going wide now to Junior. Dummies, gets through the other side. Tries to offload there to Davies, and Mirilakis picking and driving. He's done a good job again today, Mirilakis, and so is this man Davies as he gets through the line. Almost through there was Rokotolu. There's trouble out wide. Fogarty pounces on it for the Greens. Strawn now taking one up. He's isolated. They have to get over him, the Greens. And that's a penalty to the Greens. I thought there Tafeo had every right to maybe pick that up there, Dennis.
Yeah, you called it early. He definitely got isolated. Maybe another pass or two from the Greens. They had numbers there, I think. But, yeah, he was definitely isolated. It'll be a good one to have another look at. He might have been a touch on the unlucky side.
Is that Frankie Roberts who's down there? We'll have a bit of a look at the replay coming up, but he'll get up. He's a tough, strong character, Roberts. Been around for a few years. As we look at the replay here. Yeah, a little head clash there with that big man, Tafeo.
Yeah, he had assisted in the tackle and had to get to his feet before he attacked the ball, and I think he came up and was still in contact with Jay Strawn when he attacked the ball, so probably a fair enough penalty.
Well, he's come from the field anyway. And Reynolds, Jono Reynolds has come on the field for the Waratahs. Davies just getting to his feet. Jono Reynolds, of course, he's been around for quite some time for this Waratahs side. I think he even captained them a couple of years ago. Oh, that's not the best touch finder there by Fraser Price. So the Greens still under a bit of pressure here. Yeah. 15 minutes remaining.
Again, it's the first team to take advantage of these errors by the opposition. Waratah had the chance to maybe put this game away and unfortunately couldn't manage it.
Well, the ball spoiled in the air. Mac Ray did well to bring it down. Wilson this time. We won't see him pass it, I don't think. And he makes a good 5 metres, comes back. And that might find some space there. Chase Hicks runs onto it, though. Well taken by the young winger, bumping one off. Tom Smith just made to look very ordinary. That came off a Greens player. Offside. It bounces up now. Basagalupo. It's going to be brought back.
Yeah, I missed that. I'll have to see what happened there.
Yeah, there was a little knock on by the Greens player and went in front. Accidental, and there's a bit of push and shove now as Jerome Wilson. Plenty of words to say. Chase Hicks the young winger. It was a good run by him, as we might have a look at that replay. And there's still a bit of push and shove, and Logan's going to call time off just to settle things down. So we'll look now at a previous replay.
Yeah, look, it's a very stop-start affair now. I don't think this will be worrying the Waratahs too much when you're leading by 8.
And this is how they like to play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't want the ball in play too much. Don't want fatigue to be a part. Here we go, the replay.
So Ernst is on. Yeah, he just took control, didn't he? Took care of young Tom Smith. And see the little knock on there. Green's player picks up. And this is going to be a penalty, I think, to Merewether. Now we're going to see the scrum packed. Logan blows time back on.
A lot of stoppages in this second half. And again, like you said, playing into Waratah's favour for sure. Because Merewether would like to see that, making a few changes too, though. So maybe they're... Chidgey has identified that they're fatiguing and making a few changes to freshen them up.
Well, Ernst has come on the field for the Greens. And good positional change at this stage of the match, bringing on the more experienced halfback.
Yeah, stronger, more direct, likes to run the ball, and a very solid passing game.
Yeah, probably, I'd say, along with this man here, Cam Davies, best delivery in the competition. As Liao looked for it, but Davies gets in the way, and Manu again straightens that attack. Lettingham throws the big dummy, goes himself. The Greens lazy on the inside. There's Matt Island now. Tries to get over the ball. Oh, offside there, the Greens players. All in front. But they offload, and Davies throws the dummy. He's been pretty strong, hasn't he, Davies? As now Reynolds is taken. And this is good patience shown by the Waratahs, but in the end,
Ernst,
they give away the penalty.
And there's Ernst's strength coming onto the field. Got good body height. Quick
well,
tap
there's
by
Strawn.
Strawn.
Strawn puts the grubbing kick in behind. I thought maybe he could have gone himself. Oh, the charge down to Milligan. Can he get to the ball? Yes, he can, but he's taken out. Strawn, the captain, he's trying to lift his side here.
Yeah, great passage from the Greens there. A great turn.
Oh, he's been taken off the ball as well by the big prop forward Tafeo. Drops him in back play.
Another good flop by Strawny there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was the old WWE shoulder block.
Yeah, but good passage from Green. Good turnover by Strawn, and then a great quick tap from... good turnover from Ernst, and a great quick tap from Strawn.
Well, the ball goes off the back, and they didn't contest it there, the Greens, really. And, this is a good run by the number 8. He's been strong with the ball in hand, hasn't he? So Davies, touched in flight, Milligan. The ball inside to Strawn. Had support on the outside, but goes inside. That isn't the best decision by the captain there, and he was taken around the head again. As now Smith gets it wide to Fogarty. Fogarty flick past to Bacigalupo. Bacigalupo, he's going to be rounded up comfortably there. And here's Stan Feo. Nice footwork shown by the big man. He's going to have to do something with it. Get to ground as Billy Dunn binds on. And the ball spits out the back, and that is probably going to be called a knock-on. Yes, it is. So again, execution really letting down this Green side.
Yeah, they're not going through enough phases, are they? That's the way to beat Waratah, or to beat any team in rugby, really, is to just go through your phases.
Well, we're getting close to 10 minutes to go in the match in regular time, but we're going to probably have about 5 minutes of injury time here in this second half.
Yeah, I'd imagine we'll be going well overtime, haven't we? There's been a lot of stoppages in this second half. It seems to have been a very stop-start affair.
Bailey getting some treatment on the calf out there. Scoring 2 tries here today. The man You can see on screen getting some treatment.
He's limping out of there. I think the Greens will be happy to see the back of him.
He's still on the field. Well, he's so quick, he only needs one calf.
Yeah. So he's clutching at a calf or a hamstring.
Maybe a little cork or something. In any case, the Greens need to pressure this Waratah scrum. (21-13) the score. 10 to go. And this Rams 2016 elimination final. A good scrum by the Greens. Secondary shove, and Davies pops off the back, and that is kicked towards the touchline and out on the full on the far side.
Well, here we go. They've invited Merewether in again. Let's see if Merewether can take advantage of this.
Be interesting to see how the Carlton side play here. We saw earlier in the half, Strawn went into first receiver and Price sort of shifted back to fullback. And I think that's what they need to do. They need his experience in close to get the forwards running. As now Smith getting the ball, and Wilson, Fogarty, outside. Oh, he's gone without it again. Milligan. They bundle him into touch, but it's still going to be a scrum there. And he's not happy with himself, the winger. And that is
not the greatest pass, but his confidence is obviously shot at the moment. Yeah, Lick, he didn't catch that one first up, and there was room. It looked good for the Greens there for a moment.
Well, gee, when you've got a haircut like that and flashy green boots, you want to catch them, Dennis.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're making yourself stand out, we want it to be for the right reasons, don't you? Scrum's been good. Look, they've just got to keep working, the Greens. A good scrum for not much reward last time, but they've just got to put these guys under pressure.
So here they come again. They try to push forward and push through. Oh, Ernst doing well, showing his experience there now. Pressure for Lettingham, but gets a nice kick downfield over the head of Milligan and into touch.
Yeah, good kick. Good scrum by Waratah that time.
Yeah, definitely. They knew the secondary shove was coming, and they withstood it that time. So it'll be a throw here for Dunn, but Ernst certainly over the ball since he's been on.
Yeah, he certainly made a difference.
Oh, Hines comes up for it. Hills. Yeah, a little knock on there. And Tafeo comes in with a bit of a late shot. Logan probably will ignore that one.
And he's called the captain out. Have a bit of a word.
No, he just moved the scrum across. Manu is the captain. Merewether, of course, the prop forward, the Belgian international. Played about 60 games for Belgium.
Yeah, good effort, isn't it? I know when he first came to Newcastle, he was part of a very dominant Waratah scrum. So maybe Greens dominate the scrum today, maybe showing that the scrummaging in Newcastle is improving since he's arrived.
This time the Greens put the push on again. Lettingham has it, feeds Lalunga. Lettingham again showing some fancy footwork. Oh, Jerome Wilson crept.
Might have left a touch early.
A little bit early there, but there's space there for Leo and Fogarty. Midfield's defence has been good today as Hines bumps off Snedden. Snedden goes in for seconds. So here's Manu now. Goes behind Lettingham. Forced to create something. Goes behind Peniata, and Logan says nothing wrong with that one. As Strawn comes across, he'll back his chances here and does well to get away from one. Bit of space opens up, gets through another. Here comes Strawn. Hines getting around him. Peniata Gets around his legs. Well done by the captain again.
Yeah, great run by Strawn.
Here's big Stan Theo putting on a step of his own. As they go now, big man to big man. Wendell passes it to Hills. Goes wide to Milligan, and again, the pass by Hills was a poor option. Should have really gone himself. And the ball sails into touch with 5 minutes to go. Time is running out for this Merewether Carlton side to keep their season alive, Dennis.
Yeah, look, again, we keep saying it's like a broken record, but they've got to be patient. There wasn't a lot on out here. They had to go forward, go to ground, then we look for space somewhere else. But the cut-out pass, I don't think Milligan was going far anyway.
Well, looks like Bailey is going to come from the field. And they may have pushed Junior Polai out to the wing. And for now, has come on the field as well. Peniata will remain at hooker. Oh, tapped off the top. Hines only just got there. He tripped in the line out. Lettingham now goes to Fanau, and Fanau. And we know he's a good ball runner, and fresh legs coming on. Probably what the Waratahs need at the moment is Manu. Milligan. Can't steal the ball. Here's Mirilakis, and for now going for another run. So good options there. And here is Big Leo making another 15 or so metres. Every carry, he's been very solid.
Yeah, great run from the number 8.
Here's Manu again. Oh, ball to Hicks was a beautiful ball. For now's on the inside, and Hicks will seal the game for the Waratahs.
Yeah, all over the greens at the moment. Not taking advantage of the ball when they have it, and there we go. Waratah putting their winger again away, and just a nice little step. Hard job for Strawn one-on-one there, and he was just too good for him.
Well, he's got plenty to say to that crowd as well. The crowd giving it to him. He's giving it back. But the ball by Manu was lovely. It was flat.
It was a
Talk
great
us
ball.
through it.
Yeah, it was a great ball, wasn't it? He just took it to the line, committed 2 defenders, straight across the front of his inside support to the outside, who had a straight run, and then he had a 20-metre run to do with what Strawny would have really liked.
Well,
Here it is again, bang.
Yeah, definitely. 2-on-1, Strawn really.
Yeah, on the hiding to nothing. When you've got a winger running at pace at you, with plenty of room, it's hard work. I know Strawn would be very hard to tackle one-on-one, as we've been saying, and obviously Hicks was no different.
26-13. 2 converted tries the Merewether Carlton side will need to do in probably about 8 minutes. From our vantage point, it probably looks a little bit beyond them at the moment, Dennis. Yeah, we've seen stranger things.
Yeah, we have seen stranger things, but unfortunately for the Greens, they haven't looked dangerous really all day, have they? You know, not on a consistent basis.
Checked there, Matt on. Fogarty comes up with it. Fogarty, oh, don't speak too soon, Dennis, as Fogarty is still going towards the line. But they turn the ball over. Such is the story of the day. Penalty to Merewether Carlton. Stanfio taking the quick tap. He drives towards the line. He's driven back. Fraser Price throws a long ball to Big Wendell Wilson. Pops the ball. Here's Milligan taking the ball this time, but taking the ball back into the forwards.
I think that was the right idea. He wasn't going to get round him.
Jerome Wilson, Big Wendell, dummies. He's not going to pass to anyone. He's close. He's over.
Wow.
Well, it is game on again here, Dennis.
Yeah, you've little faith, eh? I walked out earlier in an under-19 semi-final against Maitland and was proved incredibly wrong. So you never know in football, do you?
Well, it's a tough kick. Basagalupo will have the honours. But if he gets this, Merewether Carlton.
Again, it was a story of when he got the ball, he went direct, didn't he? You know, they created numbers, they'd had a few phases, and he just went direct, straight ahead.
He was almost short of the line. He only just got the ball over, but Logan, as always, is on the spot.
Slammed it down and it rolled back. There it is.
Over the line.
Over the line just, and then rolled back into the field of play. Yeah, this is an important one now. He gets this one, and it's still within reach for Merewether.
Well, there's a glimmer of hope here for the Merewether Carlton side. We've seen over the last couple of years, you can't write them off. As Bacigalupo lines the ball up. The crowd is silent. Well, they look like they jumped the gun there, and Bacigalupo unfazed. Oh, hits the post and goes over. So it is game on here at number 2 Sports Ground.
Where there's life, there's hope.
Well, you can see the Waratahs. They are walking backwards to this kickoff.
Yep.
Jared Logan telling them to hurry up. The crowd is booing. They want the game to commence. Lettingham, he's got the ball on a string.
I think there's still probably around 5 minutes to go. We thought there'd be a fair bit of stoppage time in this second half, so we're just across the 40-minute mark.
They go deep. Ernst Orr bounces off his chest. Goes to Mac Ray. Mac Ray takes it past Lalunga. Lettingham comes through. The Carlton side. Go to Strawn. He's their go-to man in situations like this. Gets them to the 22. They need ball in hand as Mac Ray takes them forward. The number 8's lifted. Taken by his opposition number. Ernst comes out. Wilson takes yet another hit up today. Ernst, the gap almost opens up. Inside ball, Pat Ireland. He goes himself. So Pat Ireland is brought down. Ernst gets the ball to Wendell. Feeds Tom Smith. Tom Smith turns Fogarty on the inside, and here come Merewether Carlton. Popping the ball up. Hills, he'll have to take the ball in. Yes, he does. They'll have to build here, the Carlton side. The crowd is on the edge. Regular time has gone. Stanfio throws the dummy. Almost gets through. The crowd is behind him. Holds the ball. This is edge of your seat stuff. As Jerome Wilson. He's still going, Jerome Wilson. He's about 3 metres out here. Ernst, the gap opens up. Ernst. It closes as quick as it opened there. Picking and driving now. They have to be smart here, the Carlton side. As they go through, almost there. They're down low, they go wide, and they're over! What a try, what a comeback. We wrote them off, the Merewether Carlton side, at your own peril, and they come over, and now the score is locked up, Dennis.
Oh, it's crazy stuff, isn't it? They weren't in this game 5 minutes ago. I got a tap on the back about 6 minutes ago with Chris Tonkin telling me he was leaving, and he's left a little too soon because the Greens have come flying back into this game, and now it's locked up at 26-all with Ed Bacigalupo with the kick of his life to keep the Greens alive in 2016.
Wow, what about that? And what a great try. Jay Strawn can take his hat off. He's led this team with absolute style here today.
Yeah, but he only knows one way, Strawny, doesn't he? He just takes on the defence. He does it every time. 2 tries today and numerous. I'd love to know how many metres he's made today. I know they do a yardage thing in the rugby league, and it'd be an interesting one to track Jay Strawn's yards today. It's been pretty prolific, I imagine.
We'll throw Jerome Wilson in there as well. And look at the Greens. They look exhausted. All the Waratah side come out. Bacigalupo. It looks like it's coming around, but no, it fades away. So, full time is called. It's a draw. And the Waratahs will go through.
Wow.
So, Bacigalupo with the kick. Unlucky there. 26-all.
Wow.
And wow, what a game it was.
Yeah, great comeback from the Greens. A little bit too late. We said all game about being patient with the ball. Their best passage of play was their last passage. And where they went, I don't know how many phases it was, but they just continued to run the ball, recycle the ball, and that's the way they should have been playing on all game.
Yeah, unfortunate there, as you said. They They threw the game away, the Greens, but take nothing away from the Waratahs side. They've had plenty of adversity themselves over the last couple of weeks. They come through, they scrape through, and they will play Wanderers next week in another elimination semi-final.
Yeah, they were the best team for the majority of the game. Merewether just left it a little too late. Yes, Waratah deserved their win and rightly go through to play Wanderers next weekend.
And the Dust Hunt House man of the match, I'm going to go with the 9, Cam Davies. I thought he played well. He did what he had to.
Yeah, I thought it was a toss-up between the 9 and the 8. I thought the 8 was great.
Yeah, definitely. So who are we going to go with?
Number 8.
Well, the number 8 wins the Dust Hunt House man of the match. Kalepi Liao for the Waratahs side. And the green season is over, but it was a very good game, a close game. And hat off to everyone involved, because that is what semi-final football is all about. And we'll catch you next week on Bar TV Sports.
Bar TV Sports would like to thank Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au. And Cornelia's Crump, the Bar TV Sports beverage of choice. And Rams Loans for supporting the 2016 NHRU Premiership.